Hello viewers, this is VASISTA GAYATRI Academy. I am Dr. YVENUGOPAL. In this video, our discussion is on law versus justice in rights theory perspective. Before discussing, I would like to make a reference to the goddess of law and justice, that is Themis. Why she holds a sword on one hand, why she holds a balance, a scale on the other hand, why blindfold it. I would like to give my own interpretation. See, generally it will be weighed in order to provide equivalent weight of commodities, some eatables, vegetables, whatsoever, we will be generally weighing that balance scale. Here, on one side law, another side justice. Suppose we give 1 kilo commodities, equivalent to 1 kilo we will be giving him, even if there should not be even an iota of imbalance, a difference. Suppose 2 kilos weight here, at 2 kilos commodities we have to provide equally in the market. That is expected, that is justice. In the same way, when the law on one side and the justice on the other side, the intention of this law should be reflected here in justice. Justice consisting of some elements, some factors, some components like equity, fairness, order in the society, and rights. Nothing of these should be missed. And another thing is, no factor, no component should have a domination over the other, then injustice. So it should be equally law should be always equated with justice. That is the meaning of it. And at the same time, if anybody interferes unnecessarily, any wrongdoer spoils this, creates any problem in this justice, equivalent justice here, that wrongdoer, that social evil head will be chopped off with this sword. And at that time, there will not be any observation, there will not be any discrimination that whether he is a man of high status or low status, whatsoever, whosoever he is. Because nobody is above law. That is supremacy of law. And because of that only blindfolded. So that is the essence of, that is the connotation and interpretation of the Themis holding a balance scale on one hand and the sword and being blindfolded. We can also say that law and justice are like a sun and a lighting. The sun in the sky gives light. Law gives justice. If the sky is very clear, we will have a beautiful, wonderful light, radiance, everything clear. The light consists of so many components like life, energy, all activities, everything. If the sky is very clouded, dark clouds are there, sun is there, but lighting will not be there, very dim light. In the same way, law will be there, justice will be dim if any of the components which I have now referred to are missing, or any of the components has a domination over the other. So because why I say is, we live in the world of human rights, world of fundamental rights, everywhere rights, and these fundamental rights and human rights will beget number of other rights, too many rights, from childhood onwards to old age. At every stage we have rights. And these rights will sometimes create some conflict, some confusion, some chaos also, at the cost of full-fledged justice. See, let's take an instance, one example, illustration, a wife and husband. Suppose wife is treated to be justice and husband here will be law. Both are equated. Nobody is inferior and nobody is superior. And the intention of the law is justice. The main goal of the husband will also be taking care of the family, wife and family. Suppose the wife discharges its duties apart from all liberties, freedoms, everything. There are some duties and responsibilities also: bringing up the children, taking care of the children, educating them, making them good, very good citizens. All these responsibilities, and comforting the husband at the same time. If she finds happiness, peace, and bliss in that, well and good. Suppose she thinks that no, much of my time has been spent in this nuisance, menace. I don't like this. My liberty, my freedom, all these things are exploited. I'm forfeiting all these liberties, freedoms, number of rights. Let me go and enjoy all these rights in the society. I can serve in the society. I can work. I can seek some employment, and in different ways I can enjoy my rights and liberties. Suppose she thinks and she finds peace and bliss there in the enjoyment of different rights, all rights. Well and good, nothing wrong in it. Justice will not be broken, but justice will be taking its another dimension. Justice will have its own another different color. Though here the rights theory, the point here is the rights theory has a domination over the other rights, other duties, and other things. Nothing will happen. Justice will take its another dimension. That's all. You take another example how this rights theory will have its domination over the other. Directive principles of state policy to be implemented by different states, all states in the country. The Indian Constitution has provided this scope. Almost all states are taking a lot of interest in implementing these by way of numerous schemes in the pretext of the rights. Again, rights here: right to life, right to livelihood, right to standard of good standard of life, good standard of living. All these things under social justice, the directive principles of state policies will provide, and all state governments will take care of, and they will be concentrating on this, spending crores and crores of rupees. Actually, behind that, there is a vote banking strategy. But covering that strategy, almost all the states in our country are spending crores and crores of rupees, whether it is essential, urgent, or not, most useful or not. It's a different thing. But anyway, they are spending crores and crores only in the pretext of that protection of rights of the citizens under directive principles of state policy. Another example, you can say, there are so many criminal cases, however heinous it is. You know very well that so-and-so person has committed this sin, this crime. He has committed this criminal offense. He is to be punished. But the trial will be going on and going on because of evidences, production of evidences, corroborative evidences, etc. Just because of this procedural rigmarole, means prolonging the case in the pretext of, particularly in the pretext of protection of the accused, protection of the persons who are taken to task there in that case, in order to protect their rights. Once again here, what will happen? The case will be prolonging. Once it is prolonged under this procedural rigmarole, what will happen is justice will be missing because of the delay. Justice delayed is justice denied. It is a well-known dictum under the sun. This rights theory sometimes will become a serious stumbling block, in the way of realizing the justice. So the point here is, the long and short of the matter here is that justice will be full-fledged only when all the components are realized. Components that are immersed there, submerged there, are realized, then it is justice. The intention of the law will be served. If any of these is missing, or any of these has a domination over the other components, there will be, what will happen is, law will be belittled and bewildered. No, not law. Justice will be belittled and bewildered. It will happen. And that is the reason why Raymond Wax says in his beautiful book, Philosophy of Law, very short, interesting book. Here he says that law will deviate, many a time deviates from justice. Many a time. That means very often it will deviate from justice just because of this rights theory. So we have studied law and justice, law versus justice in rights perspective, a rights theory perspective. So the takeaway here is lawyers and judges must be very keen in observing why there is an equation, and on the contrary, why there is a separation. There is equation between law and justice. So both are equated with each other, and both are contradicting with each other. What is the reason behind it? It is the duty of the lawyers and judges, and they must be able to exhibit a very keen, a beautiful display of learning in their arguments and judgments. If the lawyers are very, very eloquent and exuberant in their arguments, well, the judge's verdict will also be exclusive and exquisite. Then excellence breeds excellence. This is what I would like to say in law versus justice in a rights theory perspective. Well, friends, thank you very much for watching.